Oh, there you go. Man, Robert Hetzler. Here's 8 total. Good morning.
Well, hey folks, it's February. We're probably 5-6 weeks away yet from being able to go racing. I've had a couple people actually ask me ask me when I'm going to do a video again. Well, not a lot to do a video about right now because it's cold, it's crappy, it rains. You know, it's just not racing weather. But I did go to the Fall Fling earlier this year. Granted, I didn't video any in-car stuff because I hadn't thought about doing that yet. I'd kicked it around a little but hadn't really thought I was going to do it. I did lift some video from the Motor Mania feed, and we're going to stop right there. If you like bracket racing, and you know, I'm assuming you do, or else you wouldn't be watching this stuff that I put out here, because it's basically just racing stuff. But if you like bracket racing and you haven't subscribed to Motor Mania TV, you need to subscribe to them. They have the best bracket race coverage in the country. Like I said, if you haven't subscribed to Motor Mania, go down there. I'll put a link in there. Go down there, hit subscribe to them. This is not paid for. This is just my opinion. This is just me telling the way I feel. And I think that they are the best bracket race stream in the country. And they need support. Everybody needs support for bracket racing. Okay, so went to the Fall Fling, which I can partially blame on Motor Mania TV. So because of Motor Mania TV, guys can be sitting at work on a Thursday in Indiana, we'll just throw that out there, and they can be watching somebody in Alabama or North Carolina or Florida or wherever. They're out there racing for $20,000, $40,000 to win. And they're sitting there at their desk, not doing, not busy, watching Motor Mania. They can see a guy go down the racetrack, see a couple cars go down the racetrack, and they see guys put up 50 and 60 packs and win. Well, that guy sitting at his desk starts thinking, I can do that. And he ignores the fact that the next 3 pair up all put down sub 15 packs, and one guy goes up there and puts down a 9 pack and loses. We ignore that. But anyway, so he starts watching that, and then he starts thinking he can compete with them. So next time there's a big money race close by, he goes. Well, then once you're there, and it's enjoyable. I mean, it's a good time. And even if you go a couple of rounds, well, now you're hooked. So the next one, you go again, next one you go again, and I know because I'm stuck in that same cycle. And I haven't even done that good. But yet, here I am, going to all of them. But anyway, so because of that, I think Motor Mania has driven the car counts up for these races. And that's a good thing. I mean, events that, 4 or 5 years ago were getting 250 cars, 239 cars, and the promoters were ecstatic. Well, now they're getting 400. And, it's turned into a multiple day deal just to get a race in. You can't get 400 cars in one day, especially with a re-entry round. And if, heaven forbid, anybody puts any fluid down on the racetrack, and you're getting first round in, re-entry round, and you're done for the day. But anyway, so because of Motor Mania, I'd been watching some fling races. And I didn't really have any desire to go for quite a while. And I started watching them, and I started seeing some folks that I knew going, and they'd go a few rounds. And once again, I start hearing 50 and 60 packs winning, and started thinking, it'd be kind of fun to go to a fling. Well, the Fall Fling's in Bristol. I'd kind of wanted to go to Bristol anyway, because I'd heard it was such a nice facility, and everybody goes, and it's a 4.5 hour tow, so it's not bad. But so the fling got to be a couple months away, and I had time off, and the car was running decent. It wasn't great, but it was respectable. And I knew a couple of guys that were going. That one of them said that he'd save a spot for me, so screw it, I'm gonna go to the fling. So I went to the Fall Fling. I didn't do real well. I mean, I only had to buy back one day, which I think for my first fling was probably a decent accomplishment for my level of racer. I know when I went up to pay my final bill, the woman at the table, she even said, she goes, "Oh, only one buyback." Like, yeah. And even that was kind of a bad deal. I had the carburetor way too fat. So we'd make our first pass at 9 o'clock in the morning, and then I'd have a pretty good idea what the car was going to run after we got our one-time run at 9 o'clock in the morning. Well, then by the time we got our second pass in, which was, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, maybe 2:30, 3 o'clock, afternoon, regardless. The air had gotten a lot worse, temperature had gone way up. So now I got an alcohol car, way too fat. I mean, way too fat. It's Rosie O'Donnell fat. And the thing would slow down 4 numbers, 5 numbers. You don't expect that out of an alcohol car. So of course I would lose second round. But, so day 1, made our time run, then we went back up for first round, the car slowed down, I lost. All right, so I bought back, dialed it what it had run, went up for the re-entry round. Where are we? I got my logbook right here. Let me take a look. All right, so we went up for our time run. I was 13 on the tree, right where I thought it was same delay in the box that I run at Piedmont and Galat. A buddy of mine told me, he said, whatever you run at Piedmont, he said, you're going to be good for Galat, or good for Bristol. The car was about a tenth slower than I thought it would be, a little over a tenth. Went up for the next pass, I dialed it 1 number up from one that ran on our time run, and it slowed down 5 numbers from the time run. All right, so I lost, of course.
For the win. Todd Barton and Robert Hetzler. Barton, that beautiful, I mean, that should be up in a museum somewhere. 55 Bel Air. He's a painter. He moved from California to Tennessee. He does our t-shirts. Speaking of which, the apparel, the official event apparel, if you're looking for it, it's under the apparel tent, the Fling apparel tent by the big tent, over here by the starting line. This one's anybody's race. Barton's on and off the paddle stop, trying to catch the Mustang. Does it.
So I buy back. I go up and buy back. I was 13 time run, 27 first round. So I roll 10 out of the box for the buyback round. I go 001 red. Great. The man in the other lane, though, goes like 200 red. And they had true start. Least worst red light wins. So I'm 001, he's 200. I win the round. All right, cool. I got a time run.
All right, attention to pits. There was a woman looking for her dog bag this morning, and someone just found it. So that's all the details I have, Tim. That's what I was told. Don't shoot the messenger. That's why True Start is True Start.
Dude, I'm with you.
You're 1,000 red. Your man in the other lane leaves second. He's way red with a capital W.
He's a calendar year red.
That's it.
So it ran exactly what it had run for first round when I lost. Cool, we're good. Go up for second round. I kill the hell out of the tree. I'm 002. I'm running a little slower car, and I catch him. I drive around him before half track. I get past half track.
Larry Pittinger and Robert Hetzler. Pittinger all the way from Williams, Arizona. I saw him in a holding area. Super nice guy. Made a long trip, said he wanted to see Bristol. He wanted to be at the Fling here and trying to turn on that round 2 win light. Wheels up start. Both sides. Hertzler with a great 002 reaction time, but 3 above the dial is not going to get it done. Dead on for Pittinger.
I get stupid. So I drag the brakes. We're not even to the first cone yet, and I'm dragging the brakes to try to close the gap up. And all of a sudden, he's next to me. And I think, this isn't good. So we get to the first cone, and right before we get to the finish line. What's my dumbass do? I stabbed the hell out of the brakes again. I might have been in front at that point. Didn't matter. I'm 002. He's 20 something. I let him back around by like 003. I threw that time slip away. I was so mad. I'm still mad about it. I give that one away. I ran 3 numbers above, which you'll see on the video that I lifted. Almost 4 numbers above my dial in. I was fixing to go dead on. I give the finish line back by like 003, 004. I killed 5 miles an hour. What the hell? Okay, day 2. So I put a little time in the box because I was 002, second round the day before, and I thought, well, air was still really good for first thing in the morning. So I put a 644 on it. Had to run the same guy I ran in the second round the night before. Don't you hate that? Drove 4.5 hours, had to run the same freaking guy 2 rounds in a row. He drove, I don't know, 18 hours, 24 hours. I don't know. He was from like freaking Arizona or something. That dude drove a long ways to run the same guy 2 passes in a row. Well, I'm 008. I don't remember what he was. Like I said, I threw the thing away. I get to the finish line. I break out 001. I lead him through. I get the win light.
Take 19. Annette, nicely done. 99 miles per hour. 3 above the dial for the win. Curtis was 2 above, loses on a hole shot. Robert Hetzler and Larry Pittinger. Larry from Arizona. Ouch. Larry's 1 thou under. Both drivers 1 thou under. Hetzler's 008, Pittinger's 011, and that was...
All right, go up for the second round. Left the box alone because I was 008. Dialed the car up 3 numbers. Three numbers. Who the hell does that? Well, I did. And broke out. Yay. Don't you love it when you got a carburetor so screwed up you can't predict it? Anyway, so I'm 28. Missed it a little bit. Down there, breaking out by a ton. Done. Race over.
Under 4 minus 5 equals no chance. Felix Hutchinson. Moving on to Goodyear round 3. Kevin Pollard, Mount Sidney, Virginia, 540 left side. Robert Hetzler, Hillsborough, North Carolina, 647 right side. $11 to a 28. Here comes Pollard. Finish line. Pollard, 11, 1 above 8, 29 total. Hetzler, he left you a thou. What are you going to do with it? Go under by 12 thou. Take 13 under by 12. Had to...
On to Friday. The big money race. All right, so Friday. Go up for the first round. I get up there. I rolled a couple numbers in the box just because I was feeling pretty good. I'm trip zip. The other man's 00, he's 00 something, 008 maybe.
So Garrett Griffith getting the win. Scott Sanders, Robert Hetzler, trip zip to a 008. Finish line. Oh, there you go. Man, Robert Hetzler, here's 8 total. Good morning.
He's 00. I'm trip zip. I catch him. I put a wheel on him. I get to the finish line. And I drop right at the finish line, and I dropped to go dead 8 and killed 2.5 mile an hour going dead 8. Yeah, that was, I'd like to say it was skill, but it really wasn't. I just, it was more luck than anything. So anyway, they sent me a message and said I was possibly in line for the buy, which, by the way, I love the text messaging feature they have, where you sign up for text messages and they send out mass text messages what cars are coming to the staging lanes. So they sent me a text message, told me that I was possibly in line for the buy, but if I got the buy, I would have to wait till the end of the round, which meant I would possibly run a dragster if I didn't get it. I didn't want to wait that long. I told them no thank you. In hindsight, it probably didn't really matter, because once again, the car was predictably unpredictable going into the second round. So I got in the second round. I put 2 numbers in the box, two little numbers, because I was afraid that it was going to slow down and I wasn't going to hit it as good, which I didn't want to be 30. I would rather have been, pushing a 000 or maybe even a red light than be 30. So I'm 13. Car slows down a little. I dialed it to 43 and it went to 45. So there's that whole, it's unpredictable. I don't even know what it's going to do. And I lost.
Once again, final call, door cars, round 2, dragsters. Orange for round 2 is Troy Stone. That's Vintage Trailer. That's the CEO, the owner. And Robert Hetzler, 69 Stang, 643 Dylan.
Now we're talking about ultimate bracket cars. I'd say I'm going to go with Roadsters make darn good bracket cars. As Troy Stone is 004, take 15 to be 18th thou above to turn on the win light. Robert was 13 and 24th thou above.
I don't even remember the exact details of it. I just lost. All right, so Saturday. So we go up for first round Saturday. I put a 40 on it. They did the team picture, first car in line. Did the family picture, they call it, where they take everybody's picture, and that was kind of cool. I like that. I'm right smack in the middle of the picture if you look at it. I'm standing next to Tommy Plott, if you know who he is. But what was really cool was, so they got done doing the picture and walked back over to get in the car, and they said they would give us a few minutes to, check our tires and do all that stuff and get buckled back in. And so I'm checking my tires, and I'm on the passenger side, and I stand up and walk around the car to the driver's side. When I stand up, Peter Biondo has opened the door of my car and is acting like he's going to get in to make a pass. That's cool. I'm sure he didn't even know I'm there. He might not even remember doing that, but he was playing around with somebody and was looking towards the starting line, and it was just cool. It's Peter Biondo. I mean, who else has ever said that Peter Biondo threatened to get in their car and make a pass out of it? Make a pass with it. That's cool. I'd let him drive it the whole damn weekend. He couldn't. He'd have done a lot better than me, because he'd have. Anyway, so first round, the car slowed down. The other man slowed down too. I got the win light. All right.
All right. Last day of the fling. Jegs, $25,000 Saturday. Thank you so much to Jegs for everything that you do for us here at the fling. The day sponsorship, the live feed sponsorship, making sure that the racers have got the parts and the pieces they need to keep their program headed the right direction. And it is so
good to be racing. Well, Stay Schroeder may think not. Robert Hetzler thinks it is. Hetzler, 17 green, and goes 643 on a 640 dial, and our first pair down the racetrack starts off with a 1 thou margin of victory.
Second round, we go up there. Left the box alone. I dialed it up. 3 numbers from what it ran. There we go again, dialing up 3 numbers. I'm looking at my logbook if you wonder why I'm looking down and not ignoring. I'm not ignoring the camera. I'm just trying to read my chicken scratch. Anyway, so I'm 26. It's not a great light. The car does slow down a little bit, but I get the wind light.
Doing interviews for the Motor Mania TV show, making announcements on Friday morning, doing Facebook Live Q&A sessions, trying to maintain a race, trying to keep control of your crew that is just crazy and out of control. No.
Yeah, that never happens.
You need to hire better people. We're a handful. But Peter Biondo,
It's good to be busy.
it's good to be busy. It's also good to be king.
I don't know what that's. I don't know what that's like, Nate.
Jerry Lone led by 8 thou, was 594. Robert Hetzler is moving on, 646 and a 646. But like we said, it is Biondo round.
Yay. We got through second round. All right, so we get in the third round. We're in the staging lanes. We count back. I realize I'm lined up with a gray S10. I don't know. It's a gray square body S10. I think it was a square body. I don't know. It's a gray S10. Anyway, the fellow hollers over to me and says, "Hey, I'm dialing 656." And I, all right, cool. So I put it in the box, and because I'm dialed 46. We start checking our tires, and I'm putting my jacket on, and he looks over to he looks back over at me, and he's got his dialing board in his hand, and he says, "I'm dialing up 1 to a 47." I'm like, all right, cool, thank you. Good luck, all of that good stuff. We get in the cars and get up there, and I'm 28. It felt all right when I hit it. I rolled 5 out. I just was late.
As Scotty Richardson and Robert Hetzler. Richardson, the million winner when it was held here, to pick up that essentially $500,000 payday. 657 is the dial for Scotty. In the pickup truck out of Barberville, Kentucky. Robert Hetzler, Hillsboro, North Carolina. That's what I was going to say. That's kind of a mix between New York and North Carolina. It's North Carolina. 646 for Robert. 9,000 difference between them in reaction time. Advantage to Scotty, and Richardson goes 657-1 on a 657. 19 green at this end of the racetrack. Take 11 thou at the stripe. Robert Hetzler, 28 green, and goes 646.
I was 28. He was 19, so he wasn't. It's not like he double owed me. But he's dialed 57. I'm dialed 46, and we're going down the racetrack, and my tire is in the middle of his door, and that's basically where we stayed all the way down the racetrack. We go through the lights. I go dead 3. He goes, was he dead 1, I think? It's in the video. I could watch the video and explain it, but anyway, I get back to the trailer, and I knew I had a 4.5 hour drive, so I had loaded everything up and left. I didn't even watch the feed. I get home, get unloaded a little bit, sit down on the couch, and pull the race up to see how it's going, and rewind back to find my pass, and lo and behold, I'm racing Scotty Richardson. Yeah, there's a guy you don't want to go 28 against. If I'd have known it was Scotty, it wouldn't have mattered. I wouldn't have changed anything. I wouldn't have put time in the box. I wouldn't have rolled time out of the box. I'd have, those guys, all of those guys, whether it's Scotty Richardson or Jeff Serra or Bailey Ferraro or Nick Hastings or, any of them guys are badass. But we run against, in this area, some guys that are pretty badass themselves. And that's who we race against every week. So you're not necessarily intimidated by them because you know they can be beat, but you also know you can't make a mistake. And I made a mistake. I mean, when you're racing against guys like Ernie Humes, one of the Pascal brothers, I don't pick one, Michael or TG, they both have put waxings on me, and I've, You know, you got Ernie Humes, both Pascal brothers, Scott Macy, Tommy Plott. Tommy Plott got runner-up at a million race a few years ago. I mean, Tommy's a bad dude. We race against him all the time. So lining up against one of these other guys is just, it's not intimidating, but you also know you can't make a mistake. And I made a mistake. I missed the tree. So I went home. But anyway, it was a good time. We'll go back this year. The better half wants to go with me and hang out at the track. One thing I did learn while I was there, so my buddy Tom that I was pitted next to, Tom didn't know all of the heartaches and trials and tribulations I'd went through the previous year chasing a fuel delivery issue. My pump wouldn't keep up, and then my regulator was going bad, and all that happened about the same time I bolted a new carburetor on. So I ended up thinking the thing was lean, and I kept fattening it up, and I was like, oh, the pump isn't keeping up. We'll put a new pump on it. We put a new pump on it. Well, now the regulator's jacked up, so we put a regulator on it. But it was still showing that it looked like it was lean. So I had way too much jet in it, way too much. After about the second day of being there and the thing slowing way down like it was in the middle of the day, I was kind of griping, you know, after I'd lost second round again because the thing had slowed down. Tom looked at me and he just goes, it's too fat. Pull some jet out of it. I was like, yeah, but the plugs show that it's too lean. He was like, it's too fat. Pull some jet out of it. So I came home and I pulled 15 steps of jet out of it. I'm pretty sure it was 15. I pulled like 15 steps of jet out of it and then pulled even more out the next week. And the thing's pretty good now. So, you know, Tom, thanks, man. You were right. It was way too fat. But anyway, like I said, if you're not subscribed to Motor Mania, subscribe. Hell, subscribe to my channel. You know, tell your buddies about it. This video is going to be way too long. Ain't nobody going to be interested in it. But I'm not sure what else to say at this point, other than I hope race season gets here soon. I got a little bit to do to the car. I need to pull the intake off. I pulled the intake off right towards the end of last year because I thought I had a problem. I didn't, and when I put the intake back on, the back seal on the China wall is leaking a little bit. It wasn't leaking bad, and since I knew I only had a couple races left, I literally duct taped a rag to the back of the intake to keep it from dripping on the track, and it worked. But I'm not going to start the year off like that, so I need to pull the intake off. I think I want to try one of those HVH super suckers underneath of the carburetor as well, just to see. But anyway, I ain't got much else to say, but thanks for watching. Subscribe. Thanks for subscribing. Hit the like button. You know, do all that fancy stuff. Let me know what you think. You know, what can I do different? What would make this more entertaining? Me, instead of me sitting here just babbling on and on, blah, 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 blah. But hey, you know, I don't have any in-car footage. I'm not a real exciting person. I talk too much. Yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching.